Well, hello again. This is Beat Gillette, the growth architect, and I decided that I was going to just hop on again today on Facebook and talk about the events of yesterday to help you a little bit to get your head around what happened yesterday and what that means to you psychologically, mindset-wise, and what some of the things are you can do to counteract what you experienced yesterday. So the first thing I want to say is that you are going to have to be very, very clear that whenever you are going to look into a news media coverage or you talk to anyone about events, current events, they will have a biased opinion about it because our brain, and this is going right back into what we talk about in our work at the growth architect, is that we create our own reality and we believe what we believe in, and then we are looking for evidence that what we believe is true because that's just the way our brain is wired. So it's not that people necessarily do this on purpose. It's when you have a lack of awareness and there's no level of awareness that you are only in reaction to what is happening but never in control over it. In leadership, in our leadership, and this is what I teach, you are making sure, first and foremost, that you understand that every piece of information that comes to you is biased. It is. If I watch Fox News, it's biased. So people that are on the left watching Fox News and say Fox News is biased, of course Fox News is biased. People that are on the right look at the left and they say CNN is biased. Well, of course CNN is biased. And then there's everybody else in between who may or may not think that they might be a little bit more neutral. So the most important part for you to understand is also that in order to get eyes and engagement, there has to be something that creates engagement. And for some reason, and whatever reason that might be, fear gets more engagement. When people tell you how to be afraid of something, you get eyes. If you say, I'm worried about you, that's my most opened headline when I say, Are you okay? I get more opens on that headline than any other email I send because it is fear based. So if you are going to run either yourself on fear based and you react to all the fear based stuff that's coming to you, then that will be your reality. And when you watch some of the stuff that happened yesterday, and that was very scary. I mean, there's no question about it. People storming the Capitol, and in a way, and I say this kind of with um, a little bit of disbelief. It's interesting now that some of the very people that created that are now the recipients of the results. I mean, how is that for spiritual turnaround? How is that for the delivery that's coming back right now to you? This wasn't directed at threatening me or you. This was directed at threatening the very people that created this chaos or enabled this chaos to happen. So for the last 4 years, this country has been programmed to operate in fear. It is a known marketing technique to blame a third party, an unknown third party. If you look at marketing advertising language, it always says things the IRS doesn't want you to know, what big pharma is hiding. And people that are unaware and susceptible to that kind of fear-based behavior because they have never shifted from their subconscious into conscious thinking and they're always operating from that old programming, of course they're going to react to it. They're going to feel that finally it is the vindication for their belief system. And now finally it's their moment. So what we are teaching here, and what I want you to be aware of, is yes, it's bad. And yes, it is unprecedented. At the same time, what does this mean for you? You are at a crossroads now in your life. You can either buy into it, watch news excessively, comment excessively, tell people if they're still supporting Trump to unfriend you now, which is, I think there's a point to doing that to some extent. I mean, some of those people are so such idiots, especially when they're your friends. You need to tell them. But then, is it really worth your time and your energy? And if you're spending the time and energy, if we were to redirect it, what would be a better way for you to redirect it to? That's right, creating your own reality. So the way you do it is you shut it off. You know that the information you're getting is biased. You know that what's happening is a result of people getting a certain information and reacting to that. You know there's a high probability that a lot of the information they're receiving is false. So why are you not putting yourself then in service of putting out the right information? And make sure that in your marketing and advertising language, you're not using these manipulation techniques that are fear-based, that are all fear-based, but come at it from the perspective of how do I pull them into my orbit with positivity, with the truth, with true options. So when I was in a session yesterday with a potential prospect who is thinking about investing in a $5,000 program. And for most people, $5,000 is nothing to sneeze on. But if this $5,000 investment can get you to a $500,000 business, it's nothing. But you're making this investment when you don't have the $500,000 yet, right? So you have to be making a leap of faith. And there's always a moment of discomfort. And I am very conscious about this, especially in the last 9 months, where I come from the perspective we have one and one job only. And that is to help people to recognize on whether or not what we do is right for them, and it will help them to get to their goals. So you take it entirely out of all this fear-based reactive stuff, which works so well because it's eyes on pages. Eyes on pages gets eyes on advertising. Eyes on advertising is what the big companies pay for, which is how they look for their placement. They go to the places of greatest controversy because that's where the highest engagement is. So if you pull the plug on that and consciously say, I want to attract only people in my orbit that operate not from fear, but from value-based, now you're going to be okay. So you see, that's really my message for you today is get out of reacting. Know that you're only getting half of the information, biased information. Shut it off and put yourself firmly in control by allowing what you consume, how much you consume, what you're reacting to, where you're directing your energy in the future you're creating for yourself. And that is my message for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this helps you with getting your head around what's happening in America right now and to move forward with a good mindset and be the solution, not the problem. Thank you so much. This is Beate Schlett.